Hi, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I am so excited that it's Monday because that means it is makeup and story time. I am having the biggest blast with this series, you guys. I hope you're enjoying it as much as well. And if you're new to the channel, the biggest welcome to you. And we really hope by the end of this video, you consider hitting that subscribe and notification bell to join our awesome family here. All right, you guys, let's get into story time. And today's story is Firestarter. Okay, you guys, we're going to begin, and I have actually 4 different stories on fire starters. Okay, these are the situations that I get myself into. Either they happen or I put myself in these situations. I don't know, you guys. It's just unbelievable. I'm sure most of you are going, "How does this girl get into all these situations?" But I do. I'm telling you, I'm like a magnet. So anyway, the makeup is going to be super simple, you guys. I don't know if you're new today, but if you are, I just kind of go through the products while I'm telling the story. Sometimes I'll pause and talk about the products, but that's just kind of how this works. And also, it's going to be a very simple eye look, you guys. I was so inspired. I just watched a video with Allie Glines, and she did the most beautiful eye look with the new, I think it's Too Faced palette. It is so beautiful, you guys. You don't even know how hard it is for me right now to be on this no buy, because if I wasn't, I would be on that palette like no tomorrow. But hopefully it'll still be available when I'm out of this no buy, because it's actually a palette that I think would look beautiful in the summer and fall. So you guys, it's going to be super simple, like I said. So I was inspired by her look. I don't have a palette similar to hers. It's kind of in the peach family, but you guys, I can't control myself. All right, so let's begin the story of a fire starter. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my primer as usual, you guys. If you're new, I do get this as off Amazon. Okay, I'm going to start with the one, furthest away from the current situations. So I'm going to guess, I was thinking about this. I was quite young. I'm going to say anywhere from maybe 8 to 10 years old. Okay, here I've already begun to get it in my hair. So let me describe that house and the people who lived in it, because you guys will not even believe this. So again, I was about 8 to 10 years old. I have, okay, there's a set of twins, an older sister, and a brother. So there's 5 children in total. Now, at the time, my great grandparents were living with us. So they were in the home, and my parents, both parents, and my Aunt Cindy. And the reason being is my great grandparents raised my mother. So they have, they had become very old and, just not be able to take care of themselves. So my mom took them in, and my Aunt Cindy, both of her parents had passed away. So, yeah, she was staying with us. And you guys, so imagine this. This is a ranch home, a ranch. Okay, there was only 3 bedrooms at the time, upstairs, 1 full bath and 1 half bath for all those people. So when my grandparents moved in, I better start this makeup, you guys, or else I'm just going to be sitting here chatting away. And let me stop here, because this is what I'm going to do with my eye look, you guys. This is how simple it's going to be. This was very similar to what she kind of did, I hope, on her channel. So it's the one size palette, and this one is in, it's called a cheek clapper. And this one is in Very That. And she actually used this on her video, but for her cheeks and stuff. So if you're new, this is what the palette looks like. There's a huge mirror. This is actually a cream formula. This is the blush. It's like a matte blush. And this is like a shimmer. I'm going to try to do an eye look with this, you guys. I'm going to try this cream blush for like a base, even though I used a base. I hope this isn't going to be a mistake, but I'm just going to lay it down and see what happens. Okay, so that was the situation of the house. Now, when my grandparents or great grandparents moved in, ooh, um, of course they knew that the family would need more room. So they were very sweet and generous. to finish the downstairs, for my parents. And when they did that, we had like a large living room, and two, other bedrooms. The one bedroom was huge that you could probably have put 3 or 4 beds, in there, but they only put 2 beds down there. And then there was another room off to the side. And, that just was one bedroom. So, and you guys, whenever I explain a story, the layout is very important for you to get what's going about to happen. Upstairs, were my parents, the twins. We were thinking about this the other day, and we cannot really comprehend where we all slept. I mean, I know where I slept. I knew where my sister and aunt slept. I can tell where my grandpa slept. So I'm just so confused how we all fit in there. But what I think, what we came up with is my grandma had her own room because she was very disabled. She had rheumatoid arthritis, really, really bad. And back then, they really didn't have the medicine like they have now. So she was in her own room. And then in the other bedroom, I don't understand it. Where the twins were, where my brother was, but you guys, we were all in there somehow. So unfortunately, I can't remember where, who was upstairs. And then I had the one bedroom off to itself in the basement. And so one night or one morning, I woke up and I was very hungry. Everybody was still sleeping, and I just didn't want to wake anybody up, and was feeling obviously super independent. And what I'm doing, you guys, is just going in with the matte blush right now. And I decide that I am going to prepare myself some oatmeal because that just sounded really, really good. So I'm wearing a flannel, so I'm going to guess that it's, right after Christmas. I probably got it as a Christmas gift. And, oh, this is looking kind of cool, you guys. And I'm just going to go in with that shimmer. Let's see what this looks like, you guys. Ooh. Now you got to grab a lot of product for it to really show up, but it is very pretty. So you guys, this is going to be like a, what do they call that? A microchromatic or microchromatic look, because everything is going to kind of go together. So anyway, I'm deciding to make some oatmeal in my flannel. And where the oatmeal was, it was, that cupboard that's above the stove, way, up there. And of course, being as young as I was imagine very short. I mean, I'm short anyway, so I'm sure it, I know it was because I was climbing. And I had turned on the stove and with nothing on it. I thought that it had to become red. The burners had to become red before I applied anything on the stove. So I turned on these burners, and I'm going to pause here, do the other eye, and I'll be right back. So yeah, you guys, this is the look. I absolutely love it. I love it when products are multi-purpose, like you can use them for several different things, like a bronzer I've used on, as a shadow before. And this, it seems like you can use it for the eyeshadow as well. And well, we'll see how long it lasts. But as of right now, I'm really liking it. Okay, you guys, so I'm climbing up on the stove with nothing on it. Okay, so you can imagine where this is going to go. So this is where it becomes just insane. So I'm climbing up on the stove. I get, what I'm up there for. I get my little oatmeal, and I, jump down and off the stove, and I'm like, God, what is that smell? Something is burning. I'm looking at the stove. There's nothing on the stove. I'm like, what is it? I'm looking all around. Well, all of a sudden, a flame is in the back. I can see it on, coming from my backside. And I'm in a panic. Of course, everything you've ever been taught at that age is going through my head, drop and roll. I knew I was supposed to do that. But in my head, I thought that was going to cause a situation. Like the flame was going to burn me instead of being smothered. I mean, you're so young at that time. I mean, I can't even believe all this stuff goes through your head. But when you are in that kind of situation, I don't know if anyone's been in that similar situation where, you're facing death very closely. And, just you wouldn't believe the things that go through your head. And, just everything is, but I cannot get myself to drop and roll like I know I should. Okay, you guys, a little pause here. I just used the NYX Epic Wave, and I'm just using it as a liner, and I'm just smudging it out like with a angled brush here. Okay, before we get started in the complexion products, I'm going to try this new primer. I got my BoxyCharm. It's called Skin Ink. It's supposed to hydrate, even out the skin tone. It's supposed to smooth fine lines and wrinkles. We'll see about that. But it actually looks very cool. It has like all these little beads in it. So we will see. Okay, you guys, again, so yeah, I did not drop and roll, and that was a big mistake. And it gets worse. I was not a very smart 10-year-old because what I did next is just ridiculous. So again, I'm seeing this flame in the back of me, and I'm panicking. I'm screaming now, help. There's many people in this house, so you would think someone would, bound to hear me screaming my lungs out. Well, I go running through the house, you guys, with flames. And you know what, wind or running will do? It's going to make the situation 10 times worse. So yeah, it was just getting bigger and bigger. And you guys, I had just got my hair cut, and, very short, thank God, because I had longer hair. And okay, just going to pump this out here. Do I have a dud, you guys? What is this? Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, maybe, okay. I'm just going to prime it. Maybe, no, this is it. I don't know, you guys. Now I'm nervous about putting this on my face, but it does feel very cool and refreshing, but I don't know, you guys. That pump is not really good with that product. So yeah, now there is huge flames coming from my backside. And I run into now I know the one room was the twins because I ran in there, and, they had their two separate beds, and there was a mirror, off to the side with the dresser. Well, I'm screaming in there, help, help. And I look over and saw myself, the reflection in the mirror, you guys. I am not over exaggerating when I say I'm on fire. I'm on fire, but I don't feel any heat. I mean, I must have felt heat, but I didn't feel, singeing or anything to where it was painful. Okay, that would probably be more, make more sense. So yeah, I'm not in any pain, but the situation's getting worse and worse by the second. So finally, Trisha, one of the twins, she wakes up and sees me. And so she starts screaming, fire, fire, and I'm still running around, you guys. I'm literally running from one end to the house to the other, because where I ended up was the kitchen, which is the other, complete side of the house. And so she wakes up, she's helping me now, try to get somebody's attention. And yeah, you guys, it was absolutely awful. So while this is going on, my dad jumps out of bed and starts running through the hallway. Well, he trips, and to this day, we think he got knocked out by someone trampling over him. He probably hit his head because he never moved. He was like down on the ground and did not move. And then it gets a little comical. I don't know where my brother or the other twin was. I'm sure they were just probably, watching me catch on fire in complete horror. But my aunt who was downstairs, heard fire. So she grabs all of her valuables, her nail polishes and pictures, and, all of her valuables, runs outside with, this all like in a basket or something, and is standing outside because she thinks the house is on fire. And yeah, so my mom comes to me, you guys, and sees me, and I can imagine a mother seeing their child on fire. Literally grabs from the front my flannel off of me, because it was a nightgown, is carrying flames in her hand, goes to the toilet and just throws, the flames into the toilet. And here's the most insane, bizarre part of it all. I was not burned, nor my mother. Not one burn, not one blister, nothing. To this day, I cannot explain that, except there was definitely an angel, and I definitely would think it was my grandmother, my aunt's mother, watching over me that day, because yeah, I should have at least been severely burned, and my mother as well, for carrying flames in her hand, her hand. Well, there I am standing there, you guys, completely nude, probably just my underwear, I'm imagining. And my sister Janai runs up the stairs, sees me, sees me, and goes, "Well, don't you look just cute standing there with, naked?" I'm like in shock, but I do remember her saying that, because I was like, oh my God, she doesn't even know what happened, she thinks I'm just running around the house nude. So yeah, you guys, that was a very scary situation. I just can't even believe to this day that I have no scarring from that, except for my fears of fire. There are more stories of fire coming. So, after that, that's where I got the name Firestarter. People would, we would laugh about this. Now we can laugh about it. Just because, not because I was on fire, but the drama all around it happening, me running back and forth through the house with flames, how flames didn't like catch the, carpet on fire. I mean, you guys, there's so many scenarios that could have happened from that, and it didn't. So yeah, that went on for a lot of years that we kind of laughed about that. Now the next story with me with fire is just very, very short, but it has to be included because again, I've been involved in 4 different situations. So Daryl, I think he was, he had just gotten out of the military, so he was really into Zippo lighters. And he thought he was super cool, with all these tricks with, he could open it with one hand and, light it from his pants. And, I thought it was cool too, actually, now that I think about it, obviously, and watching him do all these tricks. So I'm just going to use this, you guys, as my bronzer. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to learn one of these tricks, have him be, impressed by me. So I'm taking the lighter, and the way you take a Zippo, you like, I don't know, flick it open somehow and light it like by rubbing it against your leg. I should know better, you guys, with fire. I really should. I should be totally paranoid of fire at that time. Oh no. So I go to do it, and what do you know? My pant leg catches on fire. I mean, that man has done it, I don't know how many times, and not even, anything close to that happening to him. But of course, it happens to me. Now, it wasn't like, the flannel situation, I was able to just pound on it and it went out. But again, you guys, this is the kind of stuff that happens to me. Yeah, so, you guys, I'm really liking all these products. I forgot I even had this. I saw it in the drawer and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't used this. I use it all the time, mostly in the summertime, because it just smells like summer. It's a cream formula. You can actually use it on your body as well. I've never tried it on my body, but who's to say never? So I will try it one time. But right now I am just really carving out the face and adding some color. And a little bit on my double chin here. And I am going to put some right back here, you guys. I am finding, and did see a TikTok on it, and it does work. Like right here, I got some chubbiness. And if you really carve that out with either, a contour or even some bronzer, it does slim that area out because it's creating a shadow to really sink that in. And then another situation with me with fire. We were at a bonfire, but it was obviously, in a colder time, which, is not unusual. A lot of people do like have, little bonfires and even in the winter time, you guys, it is super pretty. But so I was, by the bonfire and I know I was sitting way back because at this point I am a little paranoid of fire, as you can imagine. So, again, it was one of those scenarios. I had on a coat with fur, those winter coats, and around the hood it has the fur and fake fur. And I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'm like, what is that smell? It was the same smell, that I remembered as a child. And I'm panicking. I'm like, where is it coming from? Well, all of a sudden, I realized it's coming from my hood. So one of the hats or something had flown into my hood and it's, catching fire. So I literally am running around, screaming. Everybody's looking at me like I'm nuts. And I rip off the coat and I'm okay. Although that did get some of my hair. Not, super bad, but enough for it to, have that awful burn smell, hair smell. So, hey, you guys, that is, the two mild incidences. Now I have another major one that has happened to me as well. Okay, really quick, I'm going to go back into the one size and I'm going to first use the cream formula here. Okay, you guys, so the fourth story with me with fires is this is now back in 2000. I'm going to say about 2002, 2004, somewhere in between there, because we had purchased a home in the year 2000. I'm on the phone, and at the time, I don't even know if cell phones were out, you guys, or if I didn't have one, but I was on my home phone, one of those cordless ones, and I was talking to my mother. And prior to that, though, let me kind of rewind here. Prior to that, I was cleaning and stuff like that, the stove, all that. So I'm on the phone with her and I go outside with the cordless and we're just chatting away. I'm pulling weeds, I'm one of those that have to do something while I'm on the phone. So I'm doing that and, I kept hearing this crackling, this crackle sound that is in the phone. I just keep hearing this. Okay, real quick, you guys. Now I'm going to pause for a minute and I'm going to go in with that shade. This is super pigmented. On camera here, I'm looking. It does not look, but even in person, it does look a little light, but these are pigmented. So if you, have this palette or we're looking into getting one of these, very little is needed, but they are beautiful. I absolutely love this blush. If I wasn't on the no buy, I would probably go purchase a few more because they are really worth the money. I think they're like $32 or $36, but you get three different, scenarios here. The pans are super big. Yeah, this would be great for traveling now that I'm seeing that you can use it for both. And I am going to use this here as like the highlight. Even though it's darker, I'm going to use it more as like a topper. So I'm not going to put it where I would put highlighter, but just as a topper, blush topper. It is so pretty. Okay, you guys, so now I am going to use the kosas powder. Honestly, I use this non-stop, and I'm telling you almost every day, and I've only used that much. So very little is needed. It goes a long way. But it is such a nice powder. I think, when I've done the wear test that this has really helped with my makeup stay on, as long as it does. And what I love is you still get the shine. It doesn't go away, that glow. Um, Somehow it shines through this powder. It's absolutely beautiful. And I honestly think this would work on all, skin types, whether you're dry, oily, So yeah, you guys, I'm hearing the crackling in this phone and I'm like, what is going on? So I'm thinking, oh, well, the battery's about to die. I just keep blowing it off. And, because it wasn't constant, it just would come and go. Then all of a sudden, though, it's really, really crackling. And I look, because I'm outside in my backyard, I look like towards the house. My kitchen's on fire, you guys. My kitchen's on fire. I mean, flames. Thank God my dog, Mimi, that's what we had at the time, she was out with me. So, no one or nothing was in that house. But I see these flames everywhere, from outside. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, Mom, my house is on fire. I think I did go in just for maybe just peeked in. And yeah, there's no way I was going in that house. So I called the fire department. Of course, they come and put it out. You guys, my house was so bad. The kitchen was completely destroyed. I mean, that was pretty much gone. And I am just like in tears. I'm like, oh my gosh, Daryl's going to kill me. Him and Kurt were gone somewhere. So they put out the fire, everything, and I couldn't even go in the house. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely horrible. I'm gonna be in so much trouble. So Daryl comes home. I'm crying on, the porch outside, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on?" I said, "I burned the kitchen down." I think at that point, Daryl had, was so used to me being in these situations, and he's like, he goes, "Well, we get a new kitchen, from the insurance," and at least he was sweet about it, and but it was absolutely horrible. And what caused this fire, you guys, is I was cleaning, like I told you, and I must have, because it was an electric stove, must have turned the knob just enough, not to where I would even notice, but just enough. And my sister had let me borrow an ice thing that you would put like on your bar. I can't think of it, but it was plastic. So I had placed that on the one of the burners on the stove because my stove was like on the way out, towards, the back door. So I figured, oh, I'll put it here so I don't forget. Well, that being on that burner, that is what caused the fire, because when I came in, that was completely melted all over the place. You guys, it was such a mess. I could not believe how much soot and just debris and smoke. And we couldn't even stay there. They wouldn't let us stay there. So they had to call. There's like a company that comes and cleans your entire house. I mean, from top to bottom, after you go through a fire like that. It was absolutely horrible. And let me just tell you guys, okay, so we bought this house in 2000, and I think they were like built in, I don't know, the 60s probably. Um so that was the original kitchen, so you can imagine. Not very fancy, you guys. And at the time, I think the insurance policy that we had was they are only going to replace what burned. Where are we going to find cabinets to match, from 1960? It's not going to happen. So, yeah, that was awful, you guys. And the only thing that saved us on that, otherwise, I don't even know how we would have afford to update the whole kitchen, was, we were in a car accident and I lost my hearing. And I actually won the lawsuit, against that, the driver. And so I had that settlement, which, it wasn't a lot, but thank God I had that because that, at least repaired the house to where it wasn't half, done. Yeah, but you guys, can you believe that I have been in all these situations? Okay, you guys, let me show you how wonderful I am at applying mascara. It's literally all over. So yeah, if you do this type of thing, you're not the only one. So, and I will tell you that using these kind of spoolies is the best way to get rid of that without it, going all over the place. But you want to wait to, dry down, before you flick it away. The mascara I used was this CoverGirl Expeditionist. I don't know if you guys remember this one. My mom gave it to me, and I'm super glad that she did. And what I've been doing a lot lately, you guys, is just on the outer corner here is adding a few extra coats. And I think that just opens my hooded eyes. I think it kind of creates that bulgy effect. Yeah, so that's just what I've been doing, just so you know. So yeah, you guys, that is just another one of my fire stories. There's more. I mean, honestly, not fire, but I have been known to put water in a pan on the stove and forget about it and go back and it's evaporated pretty much. And now, the pan is burning. You guys, that's why I don't cook quite often. It does kind of make me nervous. I really should not be near any kind of fire, and you will rarely see me near any kind of fire. I never light candles in my home. Very, very rare. And that's only if somebody else is in the home that will remember to, burn it out because I don't trust myself. And yeah, you guys, it's just a fear. I'm like, is this the way I'm going to go is by fire? So I am very careful around any kind of fire. And yeah, if I do have candles in my home, you guys, it's the fake ones. So I'm really loving this lip combo. I use a Milani Color Statement in Spice, and it's just a wooden pencil. So it looks like this, and it looks a little different swatched than on my lip. And I paired it with the NYX Filler Instinct, and this is in Beach Casual. And what I love about this is like a balm and a gloss at the same time. As you can see how shiny and juicy my lips look, but I forgot how much I love this shade. Look at that. And I have worn this on its own, and it's really, really pretty because there is quite a bit of pigment. You wouldn't think that there would be, but it really is. It's almost like that perfect nude. Okay, so that's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's story. And if you did, if you please hit that like button, and everything that I used today, you guys will be in the description box below. And also, if you guys don't follow me already, I would love to have you over on Instagram and TikTok. I do some crazy stuff. You will see a whole different side of my personality. I know a few of you that follow me here, follow me over there as well. So I know you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so next week's story is going to be how we almost lost everything. All right, you guys, I can't wait till then, and I will see you Thursday. I love you guys so much, and until next time.